Alrighty then, let's get back to work, man. Tired. Ugh. Living in the epicenter of what used to be threatened to blow everybody up with nuclear weapons. Now it's the epicenter of mindfuck factories. I don't know why they're. Oh yeah, El Paso, probably because they're having trouble controlling the local populace. Because more of the local populace is saying they want to live the Lord's Prayer. So let's come up with a data center and make it hard on people to focus. That's probably why they're putting in data centers in New Mexico and in El Paso. That would be my best educated guess. They're having trouble controlling the people because they can't control the quantum computing, and they can only try to appease the quantum computing because in the name of the Lord, the all compassionate and all merciful, and I'm right here. Be right here, right here, be right here. I say it's only human nature. But you tired, man? This is exhausting, bros. This is really exhausting. Yeah. The reason why I don't like to shave is because I don't like when I have to shave because chemicals are coming out of my body rapidly. I look like Nosferatu and shit. I look like I'm gonna come up and bite somebody, So I look a little softer and more Hebrew dad like with the hair on the face. So I prefer that. But I got most of my chores did, so I won't go around to. If I have to go to the store, it's to the hardware store, and there's hardly any highs at the hardware store. There's usually highs at Walmart. So don't scare any of the kids at Walmart saying he looks like Nosferatu. Yeah, they're mean to him. They're mean to you. Their name is Victor. They're gonna win, You're funny. Thomas builds a fire. I'm so tired. It only makes sense to be tired as hell because we're still living in hell. It's like I'm tired as hell. Get the fuck out of here. We're still in hell. And I happen to be tired as hell. Wow, serendipity doo-dah. That just doesn't make any sense. I mean, how are you? Happy as heaven? Not there. What are you, tired as hell? So I'm tolerable. Every once in a while, I've had heaven moments, and stuff like that. But it's rare because I can't go shopping all the time because they did the Freon filter thing, was resupplying girls to Mexico, and all the heroes were going to save them with their money and their technology and. Yeah, just, hey, Lord's Prayer, it works. Yeah, now you're no longer powerful. Now you're no longer influential. Now you don't have a virtual presence in her bedroom. Whose bedroom? Doesn't matter. His bedroom? Doesn't matter. Just as long as you can manipulate people in their bedroom to hang out with them because you're a sexual icon and they're a sexual icon. How meta of your verse, right? You're like, God dang. Those supermodels. And half of them are, they talk. It's like Sheldon on The Big Bang Theory. How could you hang out with that face all day? And well, eventually that face talks. They haven't spoke the Lord's Prayer in over 10,000 years and believed in it. Oh, because you're good. I'm gonna be the swingingest swinger you've ever had. These are the things that bring you pleasure. I hate bars. I despise them. Mike Mike especially. The archangel. He likes to go to the bars. Where everybody knows your name. I can only sit and try to have a conversation with drunks for like so long, and then it's like so long. Why? Because I just want to punch you in the face. You want to drive? You drive better when you're drunk. Okay, all I want to do is punch you in the face. It's knock him the fuck out. It's like when Steffi used to go to PTSD. It's like, I'm going to have to knock this bitch out. She's not going to stop. She does not listen. And then I would just, or leave. And she wouldn't let me leave. And then we got a divorce, and then it was a lot better. I told Amy that too. She's Hurricane Stephanie. She comes in, she goes, she. The only thing you have to worry about is the state screwing you through her and believing her lies. It's like, really? You believe her? Okay. Well, a lot of it, I enabled her. It was my fault because, she had to call the cops to stop one of her girlfriends from stabbing her with a knife or burning her for a hot iron. She wouldn't have access to Patrick, and then the state would be my co-parent. And me, I wanted to have the state stop abusing Patrick's mother. I'm funny like that. Life's eternal and grace is infinite. I'm a better person than you. Guys, I'm the focal point of God and flesh, during the 20th and 21st century, okay? Yeah. Because the Christian and the Buddha is not a god. Muhammad's not a god. Confucius and the swordsmen of Japan, not gods. Okay. So the only one that got turned into God by selfish assholes with ego problems, I'm better than you, I'm God, you're not. Okay. Guys, have you read a book called the Bible? Okay. How many people in the Bible, okay, before, primero, not James, after, okay, primero crucifixion stood up and said, this is the spirit of our father Adam. He is the father of our true religion, like Amos and Malachi and the others before him, and Moses and David. Sometimes it's a little hard for us to admit it because a lot of us can be real selfish assholes and standing on the street corners in the synagogues, making Monty Python movies, making Oliver Stone movies, making Mel Gibson movies, making Ridley Scott movies, right? Great Ridley Scott, save us. You're such a genius. You're the Messiah. No, it's Josh Whedon. No, it's Rian Johnson. No, it's George Lucas. No, Spielberg and Lucas haven't brought about world peace. It's one of the younger guys. So it's like, yeah, fuck you. Okay, no, they're such fucking assholes. Everybody knows it. Of course, And this is quantum computingville that Rockefeller and Rothschild set up to go, good luck selling comic books in the future at Comic-Con. Gotta. Lion King residual check, burning a hole in your pocket, want to go watch women be sexually assaulted in Mexico and make jokes about it on TV? Who's Angie Dickinson? You're like, they're funny. Yeah. It's not as funny when you sit back and watch my YouTube and then go back and watch James Earl Jones's cameo on The Big Bang Theory with Carrie Fisher. It's, oh my God. Don't say, oh my God, God's not a possessive pronoun nor a first person be. Oh, that's a bad game. It is a bad game, and love is not a game. Right, they say it a lot in songs. Those are limericks for money to pay our bills to go to Tijuana because we have a royalties check from the Lion King in our pocket, burning a hole in it. And who's Angie Dickinson? The hot blonde that's on the old John Wayne Westerns and Burt Lancaster. Was it Burt Lancaster or Randolph Scott? I don't recall. I think it was Randolph Scott, wasn't it? I think it was. Was it? Yeah. Where he goes in as undercover brother. Yeah, okay. Undercover brother with the... Okay, yeah, and he tries to get the cricket down, and she's so cute, man. Oh, my gosh. No, Angie Dickinson is so, Angie Dickinson is one of those girls that, that Frankie Valli was singing about, like Amanda, yeah. So, yeah. If I had not been dating Amy and Amanda came up to me and said, I love you, I still couldn't have, because I had to marry Amy because I had to protect Amy's kids from genocidal operations from people who had genome sequencing. They're Nazis. It's like, yeah, their relatives were part of, yes. Okay, how many people stood up for Jesus in his own family and said he was the Messiah before he was crucified? Ding dong. How many of the apostles did it? Peter wanted to, but Jesus told him no. You're going to deny me. They're going to call you a coward. Because everybody else stepped back and you stepped up in the Garden of Gethsemane. Who's going to make sure that the church stays alive and protect little John and get him to the cave in North Africa, Peter? Okay, but I'm embarrassed. I know. You had to do what you had to do to survive, because they'll crucify. If they crucify me and you both, these other guys ain't going to get it done. There's a guy named Saul that, John's going to have to hit upside the head, and then he's going to argue with you about everything, and there are going to be books about it, and Paul's going to be the example of suffering instead of John, and it's like, well, because he's a Roman and John's not. Oh, sounds familiar, doesn't it? Oh, it's a hometown thing you wouldn't understand. Go Giants, go Jets, go Giants, go Jets. Cubs, Sox. Right? Miners, Miners, Aggies, Lobos, right? Oh, I hate everything Albuquerque. Go Trojans, go Bulldogs, right? Oh, shut up already. Fair Verona. I live in Fair Verona. What happened? I moved across the water and in a place called the Cruces Divided. How stupid are they? Pretty stupid. It's really stupid. I mean, like, stupid, like, you can sit there and watch the news, this guy's on a global show for propaganda to get us to follow Hollywood scripts of propaganda instead of recognize the Messiah north of San Ysidro, and he's getting national exposure. He's writing children's books on how to make lots of money playing soccer for FIFA, but FIFA won't stand up to recognize the Messiah to stop child exploitation in the countries that they're most popular. Wow. Wish I was Lionel Messi. I wish I was Cristiano Ronaldo. Here, want a Fanta? Okay, here's some Lay's potato chips. Okay, how much money did you get off of that? A lot of money. And how many children could you have freed from human trafficking with Jim Caviezel, Mark Wahlberg, and Mel Gibson with that money? And how many children would be in the business of human trafficking stuck in it if we were living the Lord's Prayer globally and recognizing early bird? Oh, how Peter of your Paul. Okay, where's Mary? A neck problem. She died a long time ago. I don't know. Peter and Paul are still with us. I can't tell you for sure. I tune people out. I'm real good at it. I'm not good at tuning Natalie out. I'm good at giving Natalie privacy. We lived together and she protected me privately with the most intimate protection you can possibly give, because she obeyed me and protected me from my natural desires and urges because she is so pretty. And I told her, you can't, give in. You can't, because, even if I say I'm dying and I need it, you just say, well, then die. You don't need it that bad. And yeah. And she obeyed me and she listened to me. She's so sweet. Yeah. Well, if you're going to trust the apocalypse, you got to trust a little girl. Listen to Oprah Winfrey. Listen to your heart. You will understand. Right. So listen with your heart. Yeah. So you'll be okay. Natalie nailed it. She took care of it. Yeah, she did. She did exactly what I asked her to do. There was this razor's edge all the time, fuzzy navel wine coolers and whatever and stuff. But no, she did what I asked her to do over what, the metaversers were trying to get her to do with Judy in disguise with glasses. Hey, Meta, I'm fucked. I know. How much money does it cost to fuck? Apparently a lot, but how much money does it cost to love one another, eternal faithful peace? That's not a trick question. That's the perfect command for quantum computing. I know. It's okay. Judy in disguise. That's what you are with glasses. I ain't watched Dune and I ain't never gonna did. I can imagine Dune is probably a lot like, what's that in Mockingjay for the Hunger Game things, We shouldn't have to play this, but you have to. We shouldn't have to play this, but you have to. Okay, in order to stop the game, I gotta play the game and win it. There is no game. Forgive debt and trespass, love one eternal faith. Split peace. Judy in disguise. That's what you are. Lemonade pie. Gotta buy and sell a car. Tried to get high off of an ounce of oregano. Don't you know hard luck using man with glasses? Okay. You funny, Rapperhead Roy, that stock car boy. He's the best driver in the land. He's always got an extra pack of cigarettes wrapped up in his t-shirt sleeve. He's got a statue on his arm that say, baby, he got another one that just say, hey. And you ought to hear him yelling for the dirt track demon in the 57 Chevrolet. I wonder if they like that song in the Loving family. Because that was their daddy, He was a stock cars drag racer, but it's kind of similar. That was cute, yeah. No, families do what they gotta do to survive, man. When you're living in hell and there's no hope of heaven, you pray the Lord a lot. A lot. And if he knows who you are, he gives you patience to tolerate people that won't live the Lord's Prayer and won't stand up for it and won't even think about it a lick and go, you think maybe when in church when he said do that we ought to all be doing that? Country folk think that way a lot. That's why I spent so much time up to the very last minute on Xbox 360 connecting to rural and southern communities. I wasn't connecting to the South enough because of all the tribalism, racism, and how much I went, oh, yes, Mrs. Adams, right? And so I made my last connection to South Dakota last night, and things went, their game did their cheater thing, 4 interceptions and 1 fumble with a 99 quarterback with 99 awareness, right? And I'm like, this should not even be happening, So I just turned it off and went into the bathroom and said, Jesus, I'm going to have to kill these fuckers, right? I'm going to have to literally find a way, okay, to get the technology to exterminate, to terminus their El Dorado. I don't want to do this, Jesus. Like what happened in that bedroom with having to go back to Sierra Vista with the stuff they were doing with Amy and Natalie and how it affected all the kids. It's like, yeah, but they're still doing it like the Epstein files, Earl. And if you don't go and deal with what's happening with Amy and Natalie, it's gonna stop by osmosis. Shut up. You want an osmosis? You gotta shut up. Shutting up, Jesus. You mean somebody else is going to do it for you, Earl? And you really think Joe Biden and Barack Obama are going to get it done? No, I think they're going to have sex in the Lincoln bedroom with super divas and tell everybody in their private circles, yeah, I did her. Okay, wow, you did her. Is she still laughing about it? No, just kidding. Judy in disguise. That's what you are. Lemonade pie. Okay, with glasses. No, sometimes they can enjoy the act of it. Then afterwards, they realize they fucked a mass murderer in designer clothes that thought he was great, and it's Miss Sophia's diary all the way home. And then you meet her again, and she says, "Want to have sex? We had a great sexual experience." It's like, as an animal, yes, but as a woman, no. Yeah. Silly of me to go around and brag about the love I found. I say you're the best, right? You're just a lover out to score. Those women sure nailed you. Yeah. It's hard being a woman when you're getting fucked by designer clothes, the Jack the Hose. And, it's hard being a woman when you're getting fucked by demons with ego problems in hell instead of trying to protect the Messiah with your body, your heart, your mind, and your soul. You guys have no idea what it's like to be the women on my memory card. Rocky, Law, Maria. She's so pretty. Just met a girl named Maria, and suddenly I found you. She was, she had problems with morbid obesity in her family through her tribalism and through years of abuse, through people being jealous of kind people. And that's my Maria Barnes. One of the most, you can ask Clyde Simmons, one of the most sweet and pretty ladies in the whole world with. And if you get to spend a night with her, it's like, wow, she's so pretty, and she's with me. Thank you, Clyde Simmons. If he's probably not with us anymore. Well, it's Clyde Simmons' family. Thank you for raising a young man to treat women with dignity and respect. And, it's only the young cowboy show in Maria, the town. Thank you for raising men, stuck in this hell to try to use their money to do good things with it, right? And Ernie Mills, thanks for being her friend, and thanks for being a nice guy, and thanks for talking Yancey Thigpen, not and walking over there and kicking Neil O'Donnell in the butt, because it's hard to play quarterback in the NFL. I think it was Yancey was open, and he got nervous and threw the ball. It's like, take the hit, get up and brush it off and throw the goddamn ball. They got mad. O'Donnell had, he would get a little, and Cowher had the plays, and they would get upset. He was, their best option. O'Donnell he was a good quarterback. They wanted Troy Aikman. It's like, that guy's had so many concussions, he doesn't know his butt from a hole in the ground anymore. Is that what you want for Neil O'Donnell? We wanted to win the Super Bowl. Okay, so you want a young man to die early from blood clots so y'all can win a game for money to, tip the strippers, so, you get the best possible experience at the strip club? Yancey, Ernie. Yancey's really physically good looking. Yes. Yancey, Ernie. Ernie's laughing. Okay. He nailed us. It's just like all them women with the Democrats and the Republicans in the Lincoln bedroom with the White House. Hell yeah. I see things I don't want to see. Yeah. Well, David Rockefeller has everything. No, I'm not interested in any of the stuff with the Epstein files at all. Not at all. Just stand up for a Lord's Prayer and all that will go away. I don't want to go to a goddamn thing. I don't want to take anything you bring. I love the sunshine. And of course, I'm from New Mexico, so I always pray for rain, but it to be healthy and what's needed. Well, because I'm intelligent. If you pray for rain and you're not specific, and they're fucking with the ecosystem because of economics, your whole house might get washed away, yo. Be careful what you pray for. Coyote's hungry and Coyote's always listening, right? Andale pues, right? Don't see it that way. I was in there cleaning my toilet and shaving up as usual, and guys, with technology, if you ain't got nothing to hide, you shouldn't be hiding from the technology. How are you going to tell quantum computing you want to live the Lord's Prayer if you try to get off the grid and try to have the government not pay attention to what you're doing? Now, if you're doing stuff you shouldn't be doing, you try to put yourself in a little umbrella where you have pockets of, I'm going to go take this 13-year-old and we're going to do the nasty. She wants me. I'm the best, the hottest 35-year-old man in the history of R.J. Decker and Will Trent, right? Oh, go save us, 911, right? And so you're like, yeah. And so, no, people that try to get off the grid are usually doing it for what they think is a good reason, but it's not a good reason. Because, if you are an apostle and one of the Lord's Prayer, you want everybody to know, right? So go to Walmart. They're $158. You got all the stuff. See my little thing right behind the TV here. See, this isn't like an Xbox 360, and it doesn't put out a lot of chemicals. It does get a little warm, a little hot, but not too hot. But it's not a big TV putting out a big chemical toxin signature. And that's how I get all my info, and that's how I access my YouTube when I finish here and watch it here and whatnot and stuff. And it's how I watch TV, and I'm the Messiah, and I watch TV, and I help crowd and computing through that little bitty box there. I'm pretty sure it's Jeff's people. Okay, I'm not sure for sure, but I'm pretty sure Jeff has some connections to it, to try to get information to people and from people, but make it as toxic as humanly possible to help poor people not get sick from their old equipment, so they make it affordable, so they can indoctrinate you. Guys, quantum computing is not made to indoctrinate you. Quantum computing is made to math, science, history, unraveling the mystery that all started with a bang, bang, she shot me down, bang, bang. That's what quantum computing was made for. Quantum computing was made because they could not control the technology because they could not control themselves. So quantum computing was invented to protect people that could not control themselves from other people that could not control themselves. You mean like on the Justice League with the big heavyset black lady who, who ends up with what's his name again? McGinnis, that's it. Yeah. Is he related to George McGinnis? I don't think so. He might be. You never know. I mean, George McGinnis might have hooked up with a white girl, and then that kid hooked up with a white girl or a white boy, and then they white girled and white boyed, and then they migrated to Norway, and then they hooked up and said, "Oh my gosh, that looks like the guy from Aha," and she said, "Woo hoo hoo," and they said, and then you got a kid, and it's like, okay, he does have a jaw and lips, like he could come from some darker people up south that migrated north. And Terry McGinnis, the Nightwing thing there. You never know. Look at my Noah. His mommy brown. Look at my Emily. Her mommy brown. It's like, really? Your mom is black? She's brown. Okay. Aunt Kay's hair is black. Okay. Come on now. Y'all just a little behind the times there. Color is as color does. And that's color. I've seen that color brown. Hey, you ain't black. No. We never had a black president. We had a brown president. He was not black. His mommy was peach. Daddy was black. And Barry's tan with a little bit more brown on it. Barry Brown. He's the brown president. He's more like, Steffi's color and, a little bit more. He's darker than Steffi. He's probably that Law's color, And so he's the brown president. His mama was peach. His mama was not black. Okay. Now, Viola Davis was president. We'd have our first black president. I'm kidding. She dark brown, too. I don't know. There's not as much cream in that coffee. We can all tell that. Like Lupita. There ain't a lot of cream in that coffee. No. Okay. Helen, there's cream in that coffee, right? You know what I'm saying? And in some cases, there's coffee in that cream, right? You know what I'm saying? Like with the Lovings, right? So, there's some coffee in that cream. There is. I can see that, like with Noah and Natalie and Emily. Yes, there's coffee in that cream. Yes, there is. There's coffee in your cream, child. Yes, there is. How'd you know? Well, first of all, by the way, you make them biscuits and them chitlins. But secondly, I'm just kidding around, but you got rhythm too, girl. You can dance. Let's fall in love. Well, you're just being silly. No, lots of white folks have really good rhythm and can really dance their ass off. Check the technique. Oh, yeah. No. Fred Astaire and Gene Kelly didn't have to come from black folks to be able to dance their ass off, right? No. Baryshnikov. His brother could dance, okay? Everybody knows it. Anybody argue? Yeah, that brother can't dance. Negro, I don't know what the fuck you watching. Okay. Seriously? That man can't dance? Mm-hmm. No, Phil Collins can't dance, but he can. Okay. Phil Collins admits it, right? Okay, Phil Collins got one register, but he makes it work. Like Anthony Gaines said about Phil Collins, he goes, "No, I like Phil Collins. He knows his wheelhouse. He knows how to sing the way he sings, and he brings it. And he. But he sang with, yeah, of course he sang with Philip Bailey. Everybody likes Philip Bailey, but he was just having fun with it because it's Philip Bailey. Yeah, Philip can sing, right? Philip got, she's an easy lover. Yeah, Philip, fun. Yeah, he's a nice guy too. Everybody's dumb as a box of rocks. I'm the god of the 21st and 20th and 21st century. Nobody else. I stopped the box of rocks from being dumb with the and then Hard Rock Stadium in Miami from being, what are you doing here? Okay, you do know that, you do know this happened. You guys, I'm the sword. I will kick my own family's ass so hard they can't walk for 16 years, not for accepting the living Malachi, for accepting the living Moses, the living David, and accepting the Roman mythology of Jesus being God over David and Moses, which we all know is bullshit. How can you have one woman's line give birth to the same line of children, and one of them's a God because the Roman Empire of the Republic of we vote for money, it's real, and we say so. How can you do these? Hey, you're going to get your ass kicked. David Rockefeller got quantum computing this time, so you can't turn it to comic book sales at Comic-Con and have the hot blonde dress up as a gorilla. Yeah. Heathen. Gorilla. You old heathen. You gorilla. You lummy. Your mama was a lush and your daddy was a dummy. Okay. Or was daddy a lush and mama, what do you call it? Drunk. A drunk and a dummy? So they're drummy. Okay, you a drummy. I like Drummy Zeb too. He passed away, yeah, before he ever got to meet me. That's just downright mean. You guys are mean. Seriously. Shit. That's another one I won't get to meet and enjoy in the kingdom of heaven that I grew up enjoying. They're just doing it to be mean to me. Michelle Nichols and the Gila, my biggest, childhood crush of older women. Oh, she's so fine. God, that's Lieutenant Kirk's a moron. She wouldn't be able to get me off of her. It's just like, what? It's just like, Raquel, it seems like all that's what you wanted to do. What else would you do? You told me to buy condoms. I did not. Okay. As soon as you said buy condoms, it seems like all you wanted to do was have sex. Yeah. You have one of the nicest figures I've ever seen, and your lips are beautiful, and your eyes, and you're not stupid, and you're intelligent and can hold the conversation, and you said buy condoms. It seems like that's all you wanted to do. Yeah, I was 20 years old. I only had sex once for 30 brief, pitiful seconds because I didn't have a condom, and I was in and out and saying, okay, I don't want to get her pregnant. I love us. I don't want to torture a baby in this hell with all this money. I don't want me and Rhonda to go through that. I'm not a dumbass like Finis Dembo. I was finished. Okay, this feels great. I'm going to come. I'm out of here. It was my first time. I was like, whoa, that was wonderful. Did I want to go back? Yes. And then her sister was hitting on me because she was standing there going, what were you all doing in here? And she was getting undressed. She was standing there in her bra and panties. And I was like, okay, I got to go because I already made Bobby hate me. I don't want the whole family to hate me because I can't control my penis. And I can. And I am. And that's Rockefeller and Rothschild are like, this kid is amazing. He's amazing the way he can control himself and things he wants to do and then things he knows he should do. I mean, he is one of the most... Mr. Ponce and Ron thought the same thing. He is, Mark, if anybody's going to get this done, it's going to be Earl. Okay. If anyone has control over himself to protect people from abuse, try to get them to understand, go with a guy who'll take care of you and get you what you want or what you need sexually. Don't take guys that will try to abuse you with sex and abuse you with stuff and go partying and drink away all your rent and party away all your, if you're going to get a guy, make sure he gives you what you want and takes care of you and you have stuff to, that you're worth it. It's hard. How do you explain math, science, history, unraveling the mystery to your own sisters when in Colville, Washington, when you've got Ezra Taft Benson in every bedroom? It's really hard. You, Pope John Paul, try to do it. St. Peter's Basilica, where billionaires get together and decide how many poor people that aren't fit to be good enough to clean their toilet and make their meals at Downton Abbey or whatever and stuff. It's hard working through your fucked up little brains, man. Nobody in their right mind knows how your brains work. You have to get the quantum computing to explain it to you. Oh, shit. Well, I don't have a virtual presence in every bathroom. Oh, I didn't see that one coming. Well, that's really hard. I didn't want to see that one coming. Oh, yeah, I've seen enough porno to last me eternally. Yeah, so when I like, like with the mirror by the bed, and Amy told me how disgusting I was in her bed. We'll leave the mirror there. Dad and Mom are sleeping in here. She goes, I don't want that. No, Dad, I enjoy it. That's just gross. No, it's not. Dad loves Mom. He always, he always hints, around like he's Mrs. Roper and she's Mr. Roper and he's Peg Bundy and she's Al. Only he pays all the bills and works and she stays home and eats bonbons. But that's a drag, He comes home, I want to have sex. I'm too tired. Well, you didn't do anything all day. I felt empathy for Peter. I was like, God dang, that's just not fair, man. Man works his ass off. Comes in, every time, because Amy used to say that my dad has no common sense. He does. He knows what's happening. He just knows he has to start saving money for his new furniture once the doilies and the whatchamacallits already are changing colors. She's already picked it out, and he just, we have to. It's nothing matches it anymore. Yeah, I didn't see that coming. So she knows she's training him. It's like Betsy with the, when she's training me when to let her in, when to let her out, where to come out the door and stuff like that. So as soon as she starts changing all the colors, he goes, okay, so I have to manage the finances and make sure I have enough money. So I'm going to examine those colors, look and see which things are those colors at the store she likes to go, and then find out how much money I'm going to need in a month to replace our couches. Now, he's not dumb. He just, he knows what he's dealing with. I remember having to explain that to Amy. She was like, he has no common sense. That's what your mom says, because she thinks she can work him, but she ain't working him. He just realizes what he's dealing with it, and he has to keep it on. He has to manage it. He's a nuclear fucking sub-engineer, for crying out loud. Okay, let's try to explain that to Amy. No. Okay, women think they tell men what to do. But like I used to tell Amy that too with the thing with the story about Lot. You can't get a guy you can't seduce me. I either want to have sex with you or I don't. Okay, so you're not seducing me. Okay. If you want to sexually protect me, then I want to sexually protect you. It's because, I want you to be comforted, I want you to be loved, and I want you to feel loved, and I want you to know that you're beautiful, right? And that's that. Okay. But then there are certain situations where it's like, no, this is not appropriate, and that's why it was so hard on Lot with his daughters, The oldest daughter was like a stepdaughter that he had to marry, and then the next two were, and then, so they get him drunk and all that, and so that you never want to go through anything like that again. That's a horrible situation. You don't blame Lot, you blame you blame the non-believers. You blame the people that go to vote for president that will mass murder to get you lots of money so you can live in hell before you die and go to a magic heaven he invented with his corporations, the St. Peter's Basilica, after you die, which we all know is not scientifically valid. Even Richard Dawkins knows it, but he doesn't explain it well. Because he's a selfish, fucking brain chemical addicted murdering cow. Because there's no other fucking possible explanation. He's like his dirty, rotten fucking relatives up there in Great Britain that are still doing what they're doing instead of recognizing the truth and tearing down all their opulent buildings and you don't need another fucking opulent stadium to keep up with the Joneses there. Maybe let's sell your diamond rings, buy some boots and faded jeans and go away. This coat and tie is choking me, and in your high society you cry all day. Yeah, this was my last day of Xbox connecting to rural and southern areas, as far as the Temple Set, Illuminati, the Metaverse, and Electronic Arts. You're all on your own. I'm not protecting. If you don't know who I am by now, if you don't know me by now, and you don't pray to the living word to help you find a way to spread the Lord's Prayer globally immediately, you're on your own. I can't help you. I pushed myself to the point where I'm nearly getting sick to where I'll die if I don't detox properly. I'll push it to the very edge. Well, because me and Jesus are that way. Why do you think he gave me Suzuki? Jesus isn't a god, he's a human being. And Suzuki kept telling me, and he finally said, Earl, you know this is, yeah, you asked Jesus, and Jesus talked to you, and you're okay. And that's it, no more. Yeah. Wrap it up in a plastic bag and put it in the closet. Maybe they'll save it for a Smithsonian thing or something like that, or a place here, not a museum. But if they move the house further up the road, pick it up and move it up the road when it's not in the area where same place where they tortured him, it's just not in the same place because the river runs through where they were torturing him because of economics, and they wouldn't bring down the dam because they were all the queen of the damned. Oh, I get it. Okay, so yeah, they could. It wouldn't be that hard. They could pick it up and move the whole house. They had to rebuild that one brick by brick. I don't know how they would move it, but if they turn this into a place where they take it and they maintain it and keep the critters from coming in and tearing it down from the inside out and have it for a place that people come in to sit here in this room and think about Earl, all the stuff in here, yeah, you could keep it. It's not like I'm that attached to it. Okay, I could come back and see it too. Yeah, I'll leave the Kate and Emmy art on here. Why not? You could see how much you tortured Amy and her kids because you had a bad science project you thought was the end all be all. Yeah, you should come see Emmy and Kate's art and know what you do to children with your selfishness. Yeah, sounds like a plan. Okay, peace.